And we are live. What's up, everybody? It's your boy Eric from Easy Computer Solutions. And I don't stream on a Friday, but today is iPhone Day. We got the iPhone 10 release. I got a panel of wonderful people as always, and we got some good news and some bad news. So today we're gonna talk about iPhone. This is an iPhone discussion: the good, the bad, the ugly. I want to say what's up to my live panel. I got Catwoman in the building. Tell everybody what's up. I got my man Sean B. Nice is in the building.
What up? Hey, bro. What up? What up? Yes. What up?
And I got Scrumptious in the building. Yes.
What's up?
And we're going to be joined later on by QC Dad. So I want to get straight into it. So today, everybody was getting the iPhone 10s. Unfortunately, I didn't get mine. That's a long story. I don't want to get into it, but I didn't get mine. Mine's coming in next week, early next week sometime. But as I was going through all my YouTube stuff and everything, I'm seeing everybody all hoop, hooray, I got my iPhone. And then if you dig a little deeper, a lot of stuff been happening here and there, you know. I got my man Sean B. Nice. He put his first video out. Kind of let everybody know a little bit about your experience with the iPhone 10.
So I wanna set this right now. I want to preface by saying this. I am not a huge iPhone lover, but I thought the iPhone X was gonna be the one to be like, hey, yo, we deserve to be in your daily rotation of phones. So I'm out here stalking a UPS truck. I'm here waiting, I'm looking. I'm sitting here, phone come in. I go in, doing an unboxing of my car. As I'm doing the unboxing of my car, you guys can see in my video, it's a lot of flaws with this phone. There's a lot of apps that's not optimized with this phone. The keyboard, I don't understand how the keyboard is not optimized for this phone. I don't understand why I can't see the battery percentage if I can't pull the notifications toggle down. There's too many dumb things about this phone that lets me know that it was not ready for production. Wow. And I'm upset about it because you guys announced the phone in September. It's November. You had ample time to talk to these developers and get them the kits they need to make these apps fit for the screen. So I am not happy with this purchase. More than likely, after I do everything I need to do with this phone, it will be going back.
But it's supposed to be the best phone on the planet. What did you talk about, Sean?
That is a lie, sir. I don't know what happened with that. I'm hurt. Okay, I'm hurt, because I was really ready to root for this phone, man. Like I honestly was. Everybody already had me picked. Like, you're not gonna like the iPhone. And I'm like, I know I'm gonna give it a fair chance, and I did. And it's just they spat in my face, man. They said, we don't want your business anyway.
So you got the iPhone right there by you. You want to show everybody, let everybody see your iPhone. Let everybody see this iPhone. There it is.
This is the space gray version, 64 gigabytes. Now, I can't give you guys a tip for those who do have the iPhone. Get yourself a black wallpaper that pop colors because it's an OLED panel now. So it has that little notch up top. You can't even see that notch now. You know what I mean?
That's right.
It looks good. It looks good. Like I said, I mean, the most part, it looks good. It's cute, all that. But once you start dabbing into the phone, you can see a lot of this phone was rushed. This phone was really rushed, and I can tell.
Oh, man. Wow. Ah, there it is. I mean, look, the thing about it is, you're right. And I felt that, like, with this iPhone, and we've been discussing this for a while, that since this is Apple's first device, right? Maybe we kind of like beta testers. That's what you think this is?
Oh, yeah. This is the prototype. This is getting y'all ready for the iPhone XL when it comes out. This phone was not. Yeah, that's what it's for. This phone is not for. This is a prototype. It's like a test run. Like, yeah, we're gonna throw this phone out here to y'all. We're gonna see if they bite it. That way, if they don't, we can sit there and be like, oh man, hey guys, we're just playing around, and they can just scrap the whole idea next year. But now that 12 million people went and bought this phone for $1,000, they're like, oh man, we got a cash cow. We can just go ahead and put this out, and we just update throughout the year. I felt really disrespected by that, and I'm really mad. I'm gonna call it out. I might get blackballed on YouTube, whatever the case is, but I'm mad at a lot of these YouTubers lying to these people on YouTube. There's a lot of lies on this YouTube with people saying the iPhone is so great, and they didn't touch on a lot of simple things that I noticed from looking. I opened the phone, and 10 minutes later, I'm noticing all these flaws about the phone. Yet nobody who got the phone early discussed it at all. I am not feeling that. When I go to YouTube, I'm looking for honest responses from people, and I'm not getting that. I was very upset with the response I got from this phone.
Wow.
Yeah. I saw a lot of reviews too, and most of their reviews are like, they did say, oh, some of the apps are not really tuned for this phone, but they really made it sound like nonchalant, like it wasn't a big deal.
Right.
Obviously, I am a really big Samsung fan right now. The shirt I got on, unbox my phone. But
Samsung
I was
fan.
really rooting for the iPhone X just because it has certain things that Samsung doesn't have, like the augmented reality and the Animoji and the way that you can change the light on an object without having to move. So I was really rooting. I'm really rooting for this phone just because it's gonna make Samsung step their game up. But if this is how they're starting, they might not give us a lot when it comes on the S9.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that.
Man.
Most of the stuff I saw was very mixed reviews. Like the articles I read online were kind of bashing it a little bit, whereas the YouTubers were saying how great of a phone it was. So, like, a lot of people were complaining about the gestures and whatnot. Some people say, oh, it works flawlessly. I learned it in 5 minutes. Whereas other people who have used iPhones for years were like, okay, I can't get this.
Right. You know what, Scrumption? That's funny though, because honestly, the gestures for me, I learn very fast. But you know,
you're an Android person.
I'm an Android person. That's the thing. So people who came over from Android probably like, yo, man, this is simple as hell. Right. You know what I mean? Like, this is nothing new to us. But people who who've been having an iPhone since the iPhone 3, they like, oh man, nah, it's too much. It's too much going on. I can't swipe. I can't. But it's not that hard. It's really not that hard.
So I want to invite some more people that just joined the stream. I got my man Mark Teasley in the building. What's up with you?
Yo, what's good, Easy? What's good? What's going on, stream?
All right. And also I got my man QC Dad in the building. What's up with you?
What's going on, Easy?
All right, everybody got the iPhone 10s, and my man Sean Be Nice, he just gave the lowdown about his iPhone 10. He ain't impressed with it. What y'all guys think about this iPhone 10, man? Mark, go ahead and let them know.
Man, so far it's not optimized. I mean, the apps look crazy on, with the new aspect ratio with the notch. I really expected Apple to, be on board with the devs to have this thing, optimized and have the apps looking right now, and that's not the case.
Wow, what you think about it, QC Dad?
I have to agree that it is going to take some time for developers to get on board with the applications, but I think once they get on board, you're going to see the developers do some really good things with the apps. So.
But the thing about it is, it's so crazy that, Apple announced the device in September. Obviously, they've been working on this for a while. This is supposed to be the win-all, stay-all, do-all phone. This is the phone. All of the huge tech reviewers, they all giving it thumbs up, saying it's a beast. I mean, I've been watching video after video after video, and I'm like, wow, man, this. And I mean, I didn't get my phone this morning. I got mine coming in like Monday or Tuesday. Mm-hmm. But man, it's good to hear the other side of the coin, huh?
Yeah.
From a build perspective, I mean it's on point. I mean it's a nice build. It's a good design. I like the design, but Apple's always been known for its software, and right now the software is lacking.
I'm with you on that, Mark, 100%, my dude. For real, for like the build, like when I grab that phone feel premium. It feels really good in the hand. But if I'm gonna give you $1,000 for the phone, you got to do more to make me feel good, B. I need you to make my self-esteem feel good. You know what I'm saying? I need you to do some fun. Rather than look good on my arm, you got to do a little bit more than that, baby.
Hey, David, what color you got there, man? What is that?
I got the silver.
You got the silver. Show it to everybody. You got it. You can show it.
Yeah, it's right here.
Debranded it? You debranded?
No, this is the Apple leather.
Apple leather case that costs like $50 or something.
Something like that. Yeah.
Do it big.
Wow.
Well, sorry. Go ahead.
I will say, I think when I've been using this device, I actually like the size of it. I think it's a sweet spot in terms of the size of the screen and everything.
I agree.
I will say also that I've been really impressed with the Face ID. It's been pretty flawless. I haven't had any issues with it. So
I want to touch on that. QC. The Face ID has been flawless for me, but now I feel like opening my iPhone is a 3-step process, and I don't like that. You know what I mean? Because now I got to pick my phone up, I got to hit the power button, I got to look at my phone, and I still got to swipe up. And the problem is, you don't allow me to swipe up from anywhere on the screen. I have to go down to the bottom to swipe up. That's annoying. You know what I'm saying? Let me look at the phone and it should open right up. Same thing with the Note 8 with the iris scanner. You look at the phone with the iris scanner, it opens your phone up.
Yeah.
I need that.
So I think there's reasons behind why they went this direction. And of course, this is something that could be changed with a simple software adjustment. But I think they did this a lot of people have been really
Security.
concerned about security reasons. Oh, so my girlfriend unlocks my phone, or whatever the situation is. It's like a process to unlock the phone. So someone just can't point the phone at your face and unlock it. You have to actually swipe up to unlock it. So I think they may do something in the future where they give you some settings or some options where you can change that. But for right now, it is a couple extra steps for unlocking the phone. So yeah, it's definitely not as
my
fast
thing
as
is
Touch
this.
ID.
First of all, I want to give a shout out to everybody in the building. Obviously, people are like confused because I don't do live streams on Fridays. But I told everybody I was doing this emergency stream. Like, Eric, what's wrong? What's wrong? Like, no, it's we just doing because we got to talk about this iPhone stuff, right? All this good stuff. I want to give a shout out to everybody in the building. Ray 2 in the building. Jason is in the building. Timothy is in the building. What's up with you? Hashmel. What's up with y'all? See you in the building, waiting on the Mate 10. So I want to say what's up to everybody that's in the stream, and look like we got a pretty decent house here. So hello to all. We having a full discussion about the iPhone 10. It ain't all rosy in paradise right now. So, Catwoman, what you think?
Well, I'm just gonna compare it to what happened the last time when iOS 11 came out and there was so many bugs. How long did that take for them to fix it? About a month. So how long is it going to take for them to fix these developer issues? Only time will tell. I mean, has this ever happened before? I don't know because I've never had an iPhone, but that's something to think about. Do you guys have any history or any knowledge on that?
Whenever they've changed the ratio, like when they went from the iPhone 5 and 5S and they went to the bigger iPhones, there was some learning curve, or there was some period where apps weren't optimized, and they fixed the issues pretty quick. So I'm thinking the same thing is going to happen, but right now it just feels like a beta phone. I feel like a beta tester.
Well, now to kind of play devil's advocate on this, one thing I will say, and one of the areas I was really concerned about was Touch ID with a lot of banking apps and apps that support Touch ID, and I was like, wow, is this going to work with Touch ID? Because that's one of the biggest selling points for me, at least with the iPhone. And surprisingly, all my applications work with Face ID, which
that's good.
Which is is really convenient. And I will say that's one of the, because I have a Pixel as well, but I will say that's one of the reasons I really like the iPhone, because the Touch ID, and I can get into my applications, because in this day and age, we can't remember all the different passwords and everything that we have. So that's one of the things I was really impressed with. But definitely I think developers are going to get on board. It just takes them some time.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Now, I think people are giving Apple a pass on this whole app development thing, and I guess I got an issue with that, because let's say when the S9 or the S8 first came out and they went to the 18:9 ratio. If the Samsung was not ready to have them apps developed ready for, to respect that ratio, or give you some type of software tweak to utilize your entire screen, I feel like the media would have ate that up. But I feel like because it's Apple, it's like, oh man, just give them a little time. It's like, I don't think that's fair. We're gonna call a spade, call it a spade. That was lazy. You guys had enough time to do that. I know you guys didn't just sit there and wait till January 2017 and say like, hey, let's do this with the phone. You guys have been planning this phone for a little while, so you have more than enough time to have developers make apps ready. I'm not giving you an out for that, Apple. I'm not. You should have had this optimized before you charged me $1,000.
Yeah. Another thing. Oh, yeah. I forgot. You go ahead.
I was gonna say on the flip side, you look at the Android app store, and their apps are all over the place. I mean, you have some that's developing the apps according to material design. You have some that's not. So, I mean, I guess Apple can get a pass because generally the Apple App Store is typically better in terms of overall design and optimized for the iPhone versus apps that are
I hear you on that. But again, that's still like I'm still giving you like a cop out in a sense to
Let's
charge me
compare it to
$1,000.
Samsung.
You
Let's
know what I
compare it
mean?
to Samsung because Samsung keeps it real. They know that people who get the early editions of the phones are essentially beta testers. So they give them some kind of gift. You know, maybe if they gave everybody a wireless charger with their phones, since it wasn't going to be in the up and up with the software, I think that would have softened the blow. But I think it's just like hitting people a little too hard right now. Because even I was clutching my invisible pearls, like, oh my God, wow, there's really that many things wrong with it. Okay.
Catwoman, give me a pair of AirPods in the box. Give me a pair of AirPods in the box. I'd say, hey, Apple, I don't care about the
charger, AirPods, something.
I'm cool. I take that hit, but you charge me $1,000, and I can. You charge me
You ain't
$1,000
get
for a
quick charge or
phone.
nothing.
Don't have quick charge. You can't give me a quick charge in a box.
Right. You gotta pay $80 for it.
I gotta accept your unoptimized apps.
I know,
No,
yeah.
man. No,
So
I'm not
wait,
hearing that.
so wait a minute. We got to get Scrumptious in there. Scrumptious, what you think about this debacle here?
Well, I watched a YouTube video, I want to say a couple of days ago, that was saying the iPhone wasn't supposed to come out till next year. But
Somebody did make a video about that. Yeah.
Yeah, but being that they put their heart and soul and blood, sweat, and tears into this device, they got it complete this year and put it out. It doesn't look like they had it complete. It's a beta phone.
But it only costs $1,000 plus tax. All right, so let's talk about this, right? Because I was wound up about this when I saw this.
Yeah.
All right. Now, Apple Care had went up to $199, right? And I advise everybody to get Apple Care. I'm gonna tell you why. Because if you crack the back of that device, it's gonna cost you $500, $500 plus to get fixed.
49, yep. 549.
And if you crack the front and the back of that device, it's gonna cost you almost $900 fucking to get this phone fixed.
Phone.
All right, it's gonna cost you almost $900 to get fixed. Now, with Apple Care for $199, you still got to pay about $150 to get that phone fixed, or it's gonna cost you almost $900 to get fixed.
But if you do have Apple Care, it's only gonna cost you $229 to fix the glass.
So let's
So
talk
either
about,
way, you're gonna be talking a lot of money.
so let's talk about the options. So this year I didn't go with Apple Care. I actually went with my carrier's Shurion insurance because I felt it was a better deal. It all ability if someone stole my phone, I can get it replaced for $200. And on a second note, Apple Care, I just didn't think it was worth it. I felt like the Shurion was a little bit better. I mean, if you think about it, I'm not going to have this phone next year anyway. I'm gonna have a new phone, so I'm still within my warranty for 1 year. So I'm still covered, and if I have any issues with my phone that I crack the screen, I can just go to my carrier and get it replaced. So,
you sure about that?
Yeah, absolutely. A Shurion, it's $200.
Okay, because you got the insurance. Okay,
yeah,
okay.
sure.
Insurance through Verizon. I have a Shurion too, and they do the same thing. Yeah.
One thing I will say about a Shurion that I'm not too crazy about is they do normally give its customers refurbished phones, which in some situations I've gotten some really shady looking phones. So that's one thing.
They give you a reject. They go give you the reject phone.
It's just like, what is going on here, Shurion? But I passed on a Apple Care this year because next year I'm probably gonna get the iPhone.
But here's the problem. It scares me to death not to have Apple Care because I'm thinking about the $500 plus if I drop this phone and it cracked the back, because I can't live with a cracked back. I just can't. Listen, I cannot have a phone with a cracked screen or a cracked back. So I'm looking at that one mistake throughout that whole year that you're going to have that phone. Even though you might just get rid of it in the next year, think about the value of that phone if you crack it up and don't get it fixed.
Well, I mean, I've seen some drop tests, and the drop tests have been pretty good. I mean, they're saying the glass is really durable. So, I mean, glass is glass, but with that stainless steel frame, I think it's going to take a drop, and I would highly recommend to anyone watching to make sure you get a case for it. I think you should be fine. But I hear you. That's a lot of money to replace a phone. I mean,
in the way I see it is, you're not gonna go to a dealer and go buy a brand new car and not get a car insurance. So if you're gonna spend $1,000 on the phone, why not spend the extra 12 or 15 bucks a month to protect it just in case anything does go wrong? And for me, I always sell my phones, to upgrade to the new one at the end of the year. So I get the insurance just in case.
Yep.
So that, when a new one, like the 7 Plus, I sold the 7 Plus jet black and, paid for my iPhone X. So I always carry the insurance just in case. And granted, I've only had to file a claim maybe one time, but it's better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it.
So look what Apple is doing this year. Outrageously. $999 for the phone plus tax. You take $1,100, right? It's $199 plus tax for Apple Care. So you up to $1,300 and some change right now. So and then if you break it, crack it or whatever, you still got to come up with 150 plus bucks to get it fixed. Wow. So you talk about $1,500 cash, oh man, that's a lot of money.
Yeah, you're gonna have people out here giving head blowjobs for a private phone,
it must be a really good one.
They come like so be a lot of people out here making a little ring.
My total after tax, because I got the 256, was about
$1,250.
Yeah. Oh, you got the big boy.
Yeah, which 64 is just like, come on,
too small.
Way
too small.
I got this, so I don't need I got expandable memory in my Note 8, so I don't need the.
Talk to me, Mark. Talk to me, Mark. Apple's so disrespectful for this phone this year, man. Oh, they so disrespectful. They so disrespectful.
Yeah.
So I feel
but they need to, they need to pay for the schools that they're going to be having and the glass places. So of course they're going to make their phones cost all this much and the glass, all this, but
and I get that, B. I get that, but just don't make me a project. You know what I'm saying? Like I seen somebody comment, you know what I'm saying, like in the comment section about Bixby, like comparing Bixby to the Apple. And I'm like, I don't really think that's like. I mean, I guess it's a software for software, but to me, that's two totally different things. You don't have to use Bixby. Yeah. You have to use your screen. You have to use your app.
That's
you know what I'm saying? Like, that's not even. It's not the same thing. Like Bixby, like, oh, okay, I ain't got to use that. Plus, you could disable it now. And at the time, they had remappable buttons. You didn't have to use Bixby. That could have just been whatever. But I have to use my apps on my phone, dog.
So let me ask you this question. All right, so I seen some videos. TK from Total Tech made a video. And he turned that iPhone sideways, and he got that blue tint effect. Are y'all guys witnessing that blue tint effect when you turn your iPhone sideways?
I see it, but it's not as bad as the Pixel.
I see it, but it's not nothing for me to like. You know what I'm saying? Really trip on like that.
Yeah, it's there, but it's barely there. Versus the Pixel, as soon as you tilt it off axis, it's right there.
But then again, Mark, we shouldn't see it at all. I don't see it on my Note.
I don't see it on my Note. A lot of people talk about you can see it on the Note, and I've been doing my Note this. And I'm like,
I'm doing the same thing. I'm sitting here trying to hold it like this. Sitting here trying to like
S8. I got an S8. I'm like, I don't
see it on mine.
Man, I don't see it. I'm like, nah. I don't see it on my. I don't see it on my S8 or my Note 8.
But Samsung got the best screen, so I don't expect to see it on the Note.
Because they make their own screens too.
Hey, Scrumptious, you got that Note. You got the Note 7, right?
Oh,
y'all got Note 7s?
No, I have the fan edition. I sold it.
You got the fan edition. Now, Catwoman got the Note 7. Yeah. Turn that Note 7 sideways. Do you have that effect on that Note 7?
Oh, let me check. Let me pull
that was my baby right there.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. Don't bring up bad memories, man. That's my heart. My baby.
You got that on that Note 7? Nothing on that Note 7.
No. I went out the country with that bad boy and found out it was on the ban list.
Oh, yeah.
So who do we have to blame for this tint on the iPhone X?
Well, they say Apple calibrated it.
Thank you.
I don't know.
Thank you.
Apple calibrated. Apple. They say Apple did all the calibration on this device.
Right? Because they say
look here, baby. I can give you prime cut beef if you season it terribly. That's on you.
We gonna give you the raw steak, but if you season it wrong, that's all on you.
Right? I cut the good cow. The guy was good. That's on you.
Yeah. Some people think that that the blue tint on the Apple is Samsung getting revenge on Apple for the Note 7.
People be doing too much of these theories, man. like for real.
Conspiracy.
Man.
Hey, in the scriptures, you got on that fan edition. You don't have no blue tint on that fan edition.
No, I didn't have a fan, and on my Huawei, I don't have a blue tint.
So what happened? Why this blue tint just all of a sudden came out of nowhere?
Well, you know, they got that they're supposed to have that sensor that's supposed to make it adjust to the environment you're in.
Mm-hmm.
On the Apple phones.
Oh yeah, the True Tone display.
Yeah, that's what it's called. I couldn't think of it. But
I turn it off quickly, boy.
You turned it off.
I don't like it. It makes my phone look like someone peed on it. It's like a. I don't like it. I don't know. Maybe it's just.
You can go. They have some new display settings. You can go in there and adjust the white point under the display settings. So
I like my screen at full blast. So I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't like it.
So I was thinking about this earlier, and I'm looking at so Apple putting that report. I watch what it was Pocket Now, Hammer Rivera. He said something about 12 million iPhones or something for pre-order or something. Man, that's a lot of phones. Did I get that number right? I might be wrong, but I've heard.
I think that's what I read.
Yeah, I've heard 12 million.
I heard 12 million iPhones. God, that's a lot of phones, man. And guess what? HTC and LG probably got HTC and LG can't. Well, they haven't got them yet. But think about it. That's pre-order. They haven't got. But they haven't got them yet.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We be all waiting. So I mean, 12 million pre-orders, but not actually in hand.
Yeah, the stock went through the roof. So I mean, Wall Street's happy. I mean,
now you know Wall Street happy, fam. Like Wall Street Journal got an article justifying $1,000 for this phone, and the reason they have listed is it's the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life. Dog. I'm like, I seen one video on The Verge where one of the dudes said he actually prefers the iPhone X screen to like a Samsung screen. Got like the best screen out there. Bro, I don't know how much Apple paying you, dog, but you gotta get off their dick at some point, bro. You gotta take it out. Like at some point, you gotta be like, nah, you gotta say Apple, that's too far. You pushing it a little bit too far. He's like, nah, I take it all. That's cool. Like, nah.
No, I have a question for you guys. Okay, go ahead, Scrumptious.
No, I was gonna say the dude that put the Verge video that I watched, where he put the.
I think Eli was an Eli.
He put the regular 8 next to the X, and it wasn't optimized. And I was like, wow, look how small the screen is, because it's not optimized. It's smaller than the 8 screen.
It's a lot of space. It's a lot of wasted space on screen.
I will say my wife has an iPhone 7, and some of the apps are about the same size, because if you look at the iPhone X and the iPhone 7 or 8, I guess they all look the same.
Yeah.
And 6.
A lot of the apps are the same size. And, you know, one thing I noticed, I still have my 7 Plus, which I actually like, is my screen is wider, so I get a larger keyboard on a
16:9 aspect ratio, because you know Apple's using the 18:9 aspect ratio versus.
I mean, it's not a big deal, but I found I had a little bit more room with the 7 Plus. I do wish they would have made the 7 Plus the same size and just, did an edge to edge. But
they will. We are beta testing right now. Next year. Let me tell y'all something, man. Apple said, you know what? Let's see if we can come out with this little bitty ass phone, right? And they already go discontinue the 8, like the 8, all the fingerprint scan and all that stuff. That's gone. So next year with the iPhone 11, right? You got 8. You got the smaller one, 5.7. Then you gonna have the 6.2.
Can you imagine how much that bigger one gonna cost next year?
Bring your whole family in there. Like, how much I get for her?
But you know what? That brings in a good point, though. That brings in a good point. Since in 2016, I talked about this, about the Google Pixel hiking its price up, astronomical with the Pixel, right? Unheard of. In 2017, we started seeing devices, astronomical high prices. And going into 2018, we're going to be screwed.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to be screwed.
I agree with you, Easy. At the end of the day, though, if we're paying for it, whose fault is it? We're paying for it.
I agree. I agree with that 100%.
We paid $960 for a Note 8, and I think that might have been the first. They was inching up every year from the S8 I mean, Apple's always been expensive. Actually, my 7 Plus was $960. So the prices have been inching up, and they're going to continue to inch up because we're paying for it. Now, I don't know if any other manufacturer besides Samsung or Apple could get away with selling $1,000 phone. Those are the only two.
Think so?
No, Catwoman. That Pixel is not worth $1,000.
No, they got away with it. How is that worth it? They got away with it.
For that phone, man. They petty as hell for that. It was like, oh no, we gonna compete with the iPhone, dog. Look here, bro. Nah, fam.
Nah, player. Player.
I like the Pixel. I like the
I do
Pixel
have
XL too.
I do have a
I don't
question
know.
for you guys.
Well, Essential 2 phone at 500. Yeah, go ahead.
Right. Now, essentially, they was smart. They're like, we're gonna get T for 4. We messed up. You know what I'm saying?
So what they do with the Essential phone? We can't get $800.
Nah, you're not getting
Right.
it.
They're like, we're gonna bargain with you. They're like, can we get 8? No, we can't get 8. Can we get 7?
Can I get 7? Can I get 7?
six?
Oh, how about 6? No. How about 3? No.
Right.
How about $499? Yeah, $499.
That's a good price, though.
That is a good price.
For that phone?
That's the sweet spot for that phone.
That's a sweet spot for that phone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Catwoman, you said you had a question.
Oh yeah. So I want to know, did those who have the iPhone X in here, did you guys have any problems with setting it up? Because some people they were having issues.
Yeah, mine just finished. I had I guess the server was too busy. There's too many people hitting Apple servers. So my apps wouldn't download from the App Store. I mean, I couldn't activate my phone for a while. So, I mean, this has probably been the worst launch process for an iPhone for me in a while, to be honest.
My experience was pretty straightforward. I just popped my SIM out my old phone and put it in my new one, logged in. Face ID was pretty easy to set up.
Face ID was very easy to set up. I agree.
Yeah, it was cool.
Very simple.
That was on point. That was on point.
I didn't have any issues really. It was pretty easy.
Who's your provider?
Verizon.
Okay.
It is.
Yeah.
You know what? And the thing about it is, I can tell you, shouts out to everybody that's joining the stream. I see a lot of people that's in the stream. If you are new to the YouTube channel, go down, hit subscribe, and also go to Sean Be Nice, go to Catwoman, Tech Valor, all right, and also QC Dad. They all got YouTube channels. Follow Scrumptious in the building.
Emily's here.
Scrumptious. Emily is here. Oh my God! Oh, it's gonna be so fun. Emily is in the building.
Hello. Hold on,
We've been ripping up the
AirPods are not picking up.
Yes,
there we go.
I see. We've been ripping up the iPhone, Emily.
Uh-oh.
We've been ripping it up.
I've been putting my kids to bed. I missed it.
Yeah, we've been ripping it up.
Why are we mad?
Especially Sean B.
Yeah, Sean is just
I'm hurt. I'm hurt. Like I said, this is the first year I've never been excited for an iPhone. This is the first year I was excited for an iPhone. It was like, I don't give a shit how excited you are. We gonna give you what we gonna give you, and that was it. That's why I'm mad, because I'm like, I really want to have this phone in my rotation. Now I'm back with my LG V30 Plus, my Note 8, my S8 Plus. That iPhone X, I cannot put that phone in my rotation. It's not ready.
I do like the 8 Plus better. I had the 8 Plus. I sold
like
that too.
The 8 Plus is better than the X to me.
Yeah, I agree.
Emily, you are a iPhone.
So you got one today, and you guys didn't use it? Like,
it's right here.
You didn't like it? What's
it's just not better than the 8 Plus. To me,
it's not better. Well, I don't think it's supposed to be better than the 8 Plus. I mean, it's different.
For $1,000, it should be.
I mean, but the 8 Plus is almost in that price range too.
yeah,
they're a couple $100.
Yeah.
So Emily, since you just came to the stream, what is your experience? Because I've been following you on Instagram, and you have been excited, and I've seen all your photos and everything on Instagram, and I know you're very happy about this. And so, tell us your story about the new iPhone, because you are the iPhone queen.
I've been filming all day, so if I'm not making sentences, it's because I've been talking all day. I could not get this phone to activate, first of all. Verizon's activation system completely crashed. So I had to reinstall this phone like 3 times until I figured out what was going on.
What time were you trying to activate?
All day, from like noon Pacific through like right when everybody's were getting delivered on the West Coast.
I switched my SIM card. That might have been My
Right.
the way
And I
got
didn't
through.
switch my SIM card because this phone, the old one, has other purposes. So I didn't switch my SIM.
Okay.
And so the activation took a wicked long time. I had to call Verizon to get it pushed through.
Yes.
And Verizon said they have been on the phone with people all day trying to get activation to work. I should have just switched my SIM.
Is it the Apple server? I guess it's the Apple server that activates these phones.
It was, I ordered mine through Verizon, and it was Verizon's activation system. According to the Verizon rep that I talked to, he said the Verizon activation servers were getting hit pretty hard all at once, and were crashing.
They should have seen that coming.
Yeah,
I mean, yes,
that is the point, right? That is the point.
If you sell that many phones, you should know.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
But I had the same problem with Verizon with my Note 8. I mean, I couldn't activate. I mean, I had the same exact problem. So it's something with Verizon's activation process. I mean, it's just not ready for prime time.
Right. So when you got once you got all the activation and all the crap put up on your phone, when you started playing with it, give me your 1 hour, 2 hour initial impressions.
It is super fast, but the 8 was super fast. The screen is gorgeous. The 8 screen is gorgeous. It is so much easier for me to hold, and the form is better for me because the 7 or the 8 is a little too small and it's a little too narrow, and the Plus is a little too big. This was made to fit in my hand, and I love it so much. It fits. It is the perfect size. I can type with 1 finger. I can type with 2 fingers. I mean, I have fat fingers, so I was a little nervous about this keyboard.
But see, you loved the phone before it came out, though.
I did. I was excited about it. I was nervous.
Easy, you ain't right.
I knew I loved you.
Nervous about
I met you.
size matters, boys.
Kimberly, you're in here with a lot of Android users, so just.
I know. I'm always in here with a lot of Android users.
To be okay, so
That's what
I got you back. Don't worry.
I was excited about it before it came out. I was super excited to get it. I love it. I love my phone just unlocked because it's looking at me. I have not tried to use the facial recognition in the car at night. But I don't use my phone in the car at night all that often unless I'm playing Pokemon Go.
Can we? All right, so we got a lot of Android users. We got a lot of Android users in the building, and I got a question for you guys. And I know this is going to happen, and I can see this happening next year with the S9 or something that LG puts out. Are they going to do away with the home button on Android, you think?
Yep.
Nope.
It's gone.
I think they are.
I
don't think so.
I don't think immediately, but I do think.
I think Samsung gonna keep with that virtual home button. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. The iPhone X, that way you can swipe between screens. I love that. That is so fluid. It is very cool. Don't get me wrong. The iPhone X, it was, it wasn't ready for mass production, but there are a lot of cool things about it that I do like. But it's just not $1,000 worth.
I mean, I think LG a couple years ago did away with the app drawer, if I'm not mistaken. So they're.
I mean, but Android at one point in time, if I'm not mistaken, like this, the home button is not. I don't think that's always been like a super thing, if I'm not mistaken, right? Then they have it like in one of those things where you get to swipe up.
Samsung, everyone copied the home button. As soon as the iPhone came out, people started to copy the home button because Apple did it. And
here's the thing. Yeah. What Apple does becomes kind of mainstream. I think Catwoman brought this up on one of our other streams. So the first generation of Apple pushes it forward and gives everybody permission to do it. And then the next generation will be better. I tell everybody, if you are not a fanboy, fangirl, Apple geek, do not buy this first generation phone. Save your money, get the 8. Let me have my nerd moment with my phone. I mean, this silver phone, the silver banding feels like my first iPhone. It's like 2007 all over again. I am in love. But this phone will probably have some hiccups. Yeah. I'm cool with it. I am friends with the people in my Apple store. My Apple store is 10 minutes away from my house. I am cool with that. But if people are not cool with that, do not buy this phone.
And that's why we love you,
Emma.
Yeah. I got a question for my iPhone users, Joe, because it'd be kind of funny when they say the iPhone is faster this year. I've never used like an iPhone or any phone. Like, man, I wish it was just a little bit faster this year. Like, I've never from the iPhone like you, they're all pretty fast because their software is so optimized. I give Apple hats off to that. So I've never used the iPhone. Like, man, I wish I had the A11 chip in this one. Like
I'll tell you what,
A11.
use a 6 Plus and then pick up the 8 Plus. You can tell the
Right.
difference.
You
Okay.
can tell a huge difference.
You can tell the difference.
I want to
Even
circle
from my
back around to
7,
what
I
Emily
can
said
tell a
earlier.
difference.
Yeah.
But
it's
here's
happening.
you, Eric. You asked me my favorite feature, and I don't know how honest you want me to be. You want me to be really honest?
Yes.
Forward-facing selfie camera. Holy hell! That forward-facing selfie camera is a thing of beauty. The pictures I took today of myself, I was just feeling it. That camera is going to sell this phone to a lot of people because the front-facing effects are the kind of features that a lot of my Apple friends, I mean, there's the fanboys and then there's everyone else who's not super tech savvy, and they're like, give me the Apple product, it'll just work, Apple will tell me what to do.
Ooh.
Those are the people who are going to love this camera. I'm not.
No, it's good.
Really want to get
I've never tried this. First time you tried it.
So good.
Well,
It's
I'm
jelly of
the camera. The
So
camera is
good.
nice. I'm not gonna lie. I'm doing a camera review on it tomorrow. I'll be downtown Chicago getting like a lot of camera review, like worthy shots. I like the camera. I'm not gonna lie, yo. Like camera is crispy as hell. Still not $1,000 for it.
So let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question, right?
But aren't all the phones in this class $1,000 right now? How much is the S8 or the Note 8 or whatever the hell it's called?
The Note 8, the LG V30 Plus,
Wow.
all three of those phones are they're worth more than an iPhone X in my opinion. They give you more for your money.
Not the
What do you
LG.
get?
The
Not the
LG
LG.
V30 Plus to me,
What?
I like the
what
wide
do
angle
you-
cameras, the DAC, the fast charging.
This
Apple's
is a
so
wide-angle
stingy, they can't
camera.
even give you a fast charging in a box. Like,
That
No,
front
we got
facing
a
camera on the
we got a
V30 is
wide-angle
trash.
camera. It charges pretty fast.
yeah, that front facing camera is trash, Mark. I'm not gonna lie. That front facing camera is abysmal. Now I put that in my review. I said LG V30, y'all must have y'all went ahead with this camera so bad. I thought I was using an Android phone from like 07, 08 for a minute. I said, dog, this can't be real.
That's not
But-
okay. You need a front-facing camera to be beautiful.
I agree. I definitely agree. But the iPhone X, they didn't want to give you no AirPods. They didn't want to give you a fast charger. They didn't want to give you optimized apps for the phone. Like, well, damn, what you want to give me, Apple? I'm gonna give you something. I'm gonna give you my life, my daughter,
Sean,
tuition.
listen.
Sean is going in.
Apple doesn't have to. That's the thing.
I agree. That's
They
true.
don't have to.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll even go this far. If the phone was even another $100, I still would have bought it.
So I want to wait. First of
Me
all,
too. And I'm
Yeah.
going to buy the charging mat. I'm going to
So-
buy the speaker.
It doesn't
I'm going to
matter.
buy the new case. I'm going to buy the new case for my AirPods.
Doesn't matter.
Take my money.
Hey,
So,
let me
first of all,
tell you something right now.
wait.
This
Hold on,
phone
Sean.
is going back.
So hold on. Before we get into the national disaster that we got going on, right? I want to give a huge shout out to the ladies. Every Wednesday night, I got ladies night, and Emily, Catwoman, Scrumptious, they always be guests on my show. We miss you, Emily, this past Wednesday.
Yes, we missed
It was
you.
so
I miss you guys.
fun. So shout out to Wine Wednesday every Wednesday night. If you don't come to Wine Wednesday, y'all guys is missing something. So I'm going to give a shout out. And and tomorrow, guys, I have a special stream tomorrow. I have a very special stream tomorrow, guys. I can't even tell you until you see the post. Y'all is gonna like this stream tomorrow. I have a very special guest coming in. I can't tell you, but it's
only
kinda-
one guest?
It's only one guest and kind of XDA developer. All right, so let's get back into his iPhone. All right, let's get back into it.
I do want to circle back to what Emily said before about how she said she tells people, hey, don't get the first generation of, and like the first batch of phones that come out with the iPhone because you want to wait for other people's reviews to come out. The problem with this is that this iPhone 10 is so half-baked, and all of these celebrities and all of these other YouTubers were like, get it.
Mhm.
And then people are getting it and they're like, this is nowhere near the experience that these other people are having.
What do you have? A Note Fan Edition? Is that what you have?
Me?
No,
Who
she
has it?
has it.
Okay.
She
I
has
had
it.
the- I had
Scrumptious
the
has it.
edition. I sold
So
it.
I mean,
don't
if
have it
you
anymore.
so the Note 7 was half baked, right? That's a half baked phone because the battery wasn't working properly. I wouldn't.
Working
Say,
properly. It was catching on fire.
it was catching on fire. Yeah,
Mine didn't.
Not mine. I love
hasn't. Mine's fine. I can only speak on my experience.
But finish though. I'm interested, QC. Go ahead.
So I get the whole application thing that you guys are talking about. I mean, I think that's the only thing that you guys
No, that wasn't. Nope, that wasn't it.
On this phone is the applications.
Nope, that wasn't it. Nope, sure wasn't.
What else do you have?
that wasn't it. The fact that your stock application, like your keyboard, is not optimized for the phone. The fact that you took the battery percentage is. I gotta pull down a notification. Look at that now. That's stupid. You could have put the battery percentage in the battery itself. It's no excuse for that. And the keyboard is not optimized.
Well, I heard about the keyboard. I heard the keyboard. You got all that wasted space at the bottom.
I can show you that right now. I can show you that right now.
From an ergonomic standpoint, it makes sense to do it this way.
All right, hold on.
But
that much space.
Look
at that keyboard. Oh my god,
that makes sense.
Microphone. But you can't type down here.
You're right, because you can switch from back and forth from app to app.
Right. Do me a favor. Do me a favor, y'all. Turn your phone on landscape mode and look how much space you got wasted now.
I don't know. It gives me all the room to write with my finger.
No, okay. I'm gonna pull my phone out. I got you. Hold on, Emmy. Don't worry about it, you guys.
I love it. I
got you. Look up. Are you serious?
Oh, that's not wasted space. That looks good.
This is not wasted space here. Wait, that's not wasted space.
Wait, I can't see it, Shelby.
I see it.
On the side? There's gray on the side, but I can't type there because I'm holding my phone. That doesn't bother me a bit.
That bothers me.
Because my thumb can't even get over there, really.
That's where my thumb.
You can't type on the notch.
If the Note 8 would have done this, if a Samsung phone would have done this, y'all would have been in here holding lighters, pitchforks.
All right, this is the Note 8, y'all.
You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, y'all. Like, y'all, thank you.
So on the Note 8, there's still a bar at the bottom.
No, this is my buttons. My back
right.
buttons on the iPhone too.
No, that's not what's under there. It's nothing, right?
No, there's the microphone and then the alternate keyboard.
So that can go into the keyboard. That microphone and that can go into the keyboard.
No, so under here,
and then you can swap between the apps.
Yeah, I don't have anything.
And I'm hoping that they're going to let you customize that a little bit what's down there.
Well, I told you. Okay, so I told you about the whole not putting the battery percentage thing in there. I told you about that.
Mine on landscape mode uses the whole screen.
No, Emily, go to settings right now. Go to settings right now.
Wait a minute. Look at that. That's the whole screen.
Yeah, that's the whole screen.
Look at that. Ooh.
Yeah, the only thing that right here is just these are my buttons. These are my recent app. What?
Can you make yourself a talking poo emoji?
Oh my God! I was telling you to get out. Get out right now.
Well, obviously the emojis are going to be optimized for the phone, but unfortunately the keyboard is not.
Sean, I can download another keyboard too, so it's not a big deal. Next.
Okay, that's fine. That's one fix for it. I give you that. So here's another question. I'm not used to smaller phones, but in my experience thus far, my battery life has been abysmal. What about y'all?
My battery life.
Mine's been fine.
That's been horrible. Yeah, and I've only been watching a couple of like YouTube videos, maybe doing like a couple of Facebook, Instagram on Wi-Fi, and my battery is draining crazy.
You got this phone this morning, yeah?
Yeah, I got the phone this morning, yeah.
So you had to set it didn't come with a full charge. You had to set it up. Did you do a over-the-air restore from your old app?
I did. What I did was it's on Sprint, so I thought maybe like the network was eating it up. You know, sometimes you get like a bad network section.
That's in your settings, though. You can see what it did.
Sprint. It's fire. You're not gonna disrespect Sprint like that. Nobody. I've been with Sprint since I was in 8th grade. Like I love.
If you guys are interested in the true battery test method, I'll let you guys know what it is.
Okay.
Pokemon Go.
It's something like that. The true battery test method is to charge your phone all the way up to 100. Mm-hmm. Go to YouTube because YouTube is a RAM whore. Okay. Now go to any video that says 10-hour song or 10-hour loop or whatever, and just leave your phone there playing that YouTube video for 10 hours. Go back to it when it gets to 5%. How long does it last? Does it last 5 hours? Does it last 2 hours? Does it last 7 hours? That is the true battery test.
Well, every video
I would like to challenge all of you guys to do that.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
What she's saying is,
I'm saying this because
I actually did this live.
RAM
I actually did this live. I did a live stream. I did a live battery test. It was about 9 hours, 8 hours, or 9 hours. So I did a live battery test.
Word.
I was live streaming and I did a live battery test. I want to give a shout out to everybody that's in the stream. TK from Total Tech is in the building. Technically T is in the building. Timothy, Ray, I see y'all guys in the building. They got a lot of questions, guys. Let's get into some questions in the stream here. Because they up there answering a lot of questions. Watch all Paw Patrol episodes.
I can't handle any more Paw Patrol. I can't.
Yeah, me neither. I got 2 little girls. I can't handle
Can
any
you
more.
Skylanders.
at 4K, 60 frames per second, or 1080p at 240? Is that slow motion?
What was the question again? I'm sorry.
Can you film at 4K 60? That you can't film at 4K 60 frames per second.
Not on the Note 8.
Not on the Note 8, right? Not on the Note 8. And the Note 8. Look, I'm gonna tell you, I say this a lot. I've been saying this for about 2 years about the Samsung cameras, and I hear everybody talk how good about the cameras on Samsung devices. 1080p 30 frames per second is good. 4K is good. Don't do 1080p 60 frames per second because you're gonna have problems. You're gonna have problems at 1080p. So I don't give Galaxy devices a pass, because if you can't record at 30, 60, and 4K without a problem, then I would give it a pass.
Oh my gosh, and they charge $960 for it? Oh
yes.
My gosh,
Hey, so what problems are you guys having with the 1080p 60 frames per second? Because I've never.
Focusing issues. Autofocusing. I mean,
autofocusing is bad.
I mean,
yeah, the focusing. Okay, yeah, the focusing is bad on the 60 frames per second. I agree with that. I agree.
Yeah, and so with Samsung, and I think this would happen with Samsung. This is just my opinion, is that after the Galaxy S6 and the Note 5, they just look like they just copied and pasted the software to the Galaxy S7 Edge and the 7 and the 8 in that Note. And what happened was, since they changed optics, I'm not sure all the technical details, but they went from a 16 megapixel to a 12 megapixel. But when you go to 1080p 60 frames per second and you start zooming in and doing all this here, you done. You are done. You lost focus, and that some bitch looked like a cloudy mess.
Yeah, that's true.
It's terrible. And I said this in my full video with the Galaxy Note 8, also with the Galaxy S8 and the Galaxy S7. I cannot give the cameras a pass, because how could you give the cameras a pass when you put it on 60 frames per second in this dog meat? How? You can't. So I don't give it a pass.
I missed that Note 5 camera and the S6 Edge camera.
Camera's good. Oh,
hey, but you know what? I'm a realist though, B. If with that being said, then the Note 8 shouldn't be worth $960 either. Then you know what I'm saying? Unlike some Apple people who not going to sit there and be real. If a phone has any problem like that at all, if you get $1,000 phone or a phone close to $1,000, I don't want no issues. I want no focus problems.
You know you're gonna have issues. But
I get that, but I mean, it's the same token.
I know, but at the end of the day, think about this. Look, don't get me wrong. I'm not giving either phone a pass between the iPhone or the Note. But at least with the Note, you got Dex, you got S Pen, you got S Pen software. I mean, you got
the VR headset.
Don't forget Edge Screen.
Edge Screen. You got software
screen.
Up the ass.
Yeah.
So
That's
you
true.
get everything with the Note. I mean, you get, and Samsung put everything in here, even though you might have flaws, but at least you're getting big speed.
So it's safe to say, at least with the Samsung devices, before they stick it in, they talk you into it a little bit. Versus Apple, they just go right into it.
This is what you're getting with the iPhone X, right? And this is probably one of the most important things you're going to get. It's nothing technical that you're getting. You're getting social status.
And
people will pay
it is
social status.
And that's the whole thing.
I mean,
that's
you think about it.
For.
Your neighbor who has a BMW, or you know, the girl at your school that has a Gucci bag. People will pay for social status. So that is something they're getting. Now you look at the Note 8. I wouldn't say that the Note 8 has social status. It might boost up your geek cred, but you're paying for social status. You know, these $40 cases that are probably worth $5. You're paying. I mean, you're paying for status. So that's what you're paying for. I don't know how to say it.
And I
Let me take it. I'll take it a step further. When you're buy into the Apple, iPhone, you're investing into. You get an ecosystem.
Yeah.
You get a ecosystem from beginning to end. It's tight. I mean, if you have, for me, I got the iPad Pro, I got the Apple TV, I got the MacBook Air, I got I got an iPhone. And when I'm using my iPad and I go to my MacBook, I mean, I can pick up right where I left off. When I go from my MacBook to my iPad, I can pick right up where I left off. I mean, when I want to share photos of my daughters, I can create, a photo stream shared right with my, right with the grandparents, and it's all seamless and it just works. I mean, and I know I sound like an Apple commercial, but that's just the truth. You're investing into an ecosystem.
Which is why I would
And
never
I'll take it a step further.
I'm never doing a Note because it doesn't work with my world. My whole world is Apple. So the iPhone, and I said the iPhone 8 is the phone for like my mom who's not ready to get rid of the home button and has to learn to get rid of the headphone jack. The iPhone 10 is for the fans. I mean, this is a celebration anniversary phone. It harkens back to the first. It's something different. The camera's beautiful. It fits in your hand, and it fits in my world. I'm not going to switch to a Note 8. Even if people are going to say it's a better phone, it has longer battery life, that's still not going to be my phone.
I think at the end of the day, it's about what you like. You know what I'm saying? So no matter at the end of the day, no matter what somebody offers or tells you, like for me, I look for stuff on a more different level, right? So yes, it is nice to have those handoff features, but for me, it's like, damn, I got an iris scanner, I got an S Pen, I got fast charging, I got wireless charging. Same thing when I buy, like I just bought me a laptop. You know what I'm saying? It was between I was either looking at Windows 10 laptop, whatever, and I was looking at a MacBook. Now, most people who aren't YouTube use MacBooks to edit. This is like almost damn near facts. But for me, I'm like, I'm gonna pay close to $2,000, $2,500 for this MacBook that may have like an 8 GB RAM, maybe like a dual core i-Core 7. You know what I'm saying? And it may have a dedicated graphics card. Whereas I get this Lenovo Yoga. They got a 4K screen. It's convertible. Quad core Intel Core 7, NVIDIA GTX card. It's like, and I'm only paying $1,500 for that. So when I look at things from like, what are you giving me in return versus you just giving me a social status and a handoff of a couple of.
My man TK.
How long do you think that Windows laptop can last though?
Yeah, but my man TK in the building, he said the iPhone is a buzz phone. So just say, for instance, you're going to the club, right? Would you have this phone? Or would you have going to the club, right? Going to the club. Would you have this phone or you gonna have this phone? That's the social status, right? You ain't gonna put this phone on the ball, right? You gonna put this bitch on the ball.
Yeah,
right?
you got Cricket. You got Cricket. Who's using Cricket? It's just
I'm gonna take the cheapest phone I can get, just because just in case I lose it, drop it. I'm not worried about it.
One other thing I wanted to point out with Apple products, and I think this may be the same for Samsung as well, is something that they have is called the sticky factor. So if I go all the way back to the iPod days where I had all my music on my iPod, and then I go to when I got my iPhone, all that music was able to transfer over to my iPhone. But then you start getting into iMessenger and FaceTime with the grands and stuff like that. It's a sticky factor where if you even try to walk away, you're coming right back because it's that feature that you can't live without.
I
and
agree.
You can't get it anywhere else. So my whole family has iPhones. I'll give it to you, Sean. I think the Note 8 is an amazing device. It's probably the best hardware that you can buy, but it doesn't have iMessenger.
Well, I think also I want to expand on what you're saying as well. I think it also has to do with narcissism, because people don't want to admit they made a wrong choice with their devices.
Yeah.
They don't want to say, I don't make the wrong choice. Let me send this back, or damn, I wasted my money. Like, nobody wants to be that honest. And I think that's what I like about us here, is that we are honest to say, hey, this might not be the best choice I'm making, but it works for me.
It works for you.
Well, that's what it is, Catwoman. Yeah. It's about if I've got the money. First of all, I don't think people should be borrowing money to go buy this phone. If you have the money, buy the phone. If you don't have the money, don't buy the damn phone.
Yeah.
It's a phone. Other phones work fine. But if you get this phone and you don't like it, return it. Someone else will love it.
Facts.
Find the right phone for you. Do
Facts.
not buy it just because it says it's an iPhone. That
So
might not be the right
people-
phone for you.
Yeah.
Go get a
Don't
ZTE.
buy it because the
But I-
commercials
I-
look
I
You should
wanna
get
know-
this phone. You need this phone in your life. You
Yeah.
really have to think about it and be like, can you really co-sign on that? Can you really tell something like that? Because you don't know if that really resonates with that person.
True.
Mhm.
I
And-
agree
and-
with you though, Catwoman. Like, I think people sometimes like they don't want to, and I think that's why we got fanboys, right? Like some fanboys don't want to admit when a phone has a better feature. You know what I mean? Like, for example, like I like Samsung, but I know iMessage is crack. Like I use iMessage when I get these phones reviewing, and it's dope as hell.
Yeah.
iMessage is like fire. And that's why I'll be so thirsty. Like I'm not gonna lie to you, I'll be so thirsty when somebody else got Sprint and they got like a Samsung phone. Oh, yo, let's use Android messaging. You know what I mean? Like let's use RCS because I want to get that feeling of iMessage. You know what I mean? So I'm not gonna lie, but the thing I think people be like, nah, man, you know what I'm saying? My phone is best, and it's like I want to admit that it is. You know what I mean? It's not as good as your phone. I think that's the problem with people.
Well, iPhone got an emoji.
If you bring
Yeah.
animals up,
One more time.
I
But
want me
you
to add
make fun.
emoji.
You make fun, Eric. But those are the features that are selling a lot of these phones.
the
Yeah.
sticky,
To
the
That's
sticky.
the-
4-year-old white women
sticky
like
factor
me
right there.
who want to
Oh,
make
yeah.
themselves a unicorn.
That's it.
That's
Well,
who's
crazy.
buying this phone. It's the moms like me who are like, I can be a unicorn and take great pictures of my kids. And if it doesn't work, I can ask somebody down the street how to use it because
Yep.
everyone I know has this phone.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You go to ask an Android user, what do I do with my phone? They might not be on the same operating system. They
Mhm.
might not have the same
They
features.
might have touch
I mean,
screens, they
this
might
is-
have this. They might, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, you've got a crossover here where if the people you work with have iPhones, someone's going to help you with your phone. I mean, you have that world around you. And yeah, people like it because it's new and flashy, but I think people also like it because it's easy.
Yeah.
And you can put a lot more on the Android phones. You can get into that phone and customize it way more than you can with an iPhone. However, the iPhone user doesn't want that.
Nope.
Right.
They want to share pictures of the kids with their grandma.
I think
and they
that's
want
the
it to just
problem
work.
with Sean Be Nice because he's coming from an Android device.
Yeah.
He got his iPhone. Like, what the hell is this?
You know, you might be right, but the problem is too, like me, I like a lot of free shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's Android, like,
Nope.
I be watching like the
No, you don't
Cody,
get
like
free
the
stuff
Cody
like
that people got on Fire Sticks. I got that on my phone. I'm watching, you know what I'm saying, Covenant Exodus. I'm watching all these movies at work, chilling for free. You know what I'm saying? So it's hard for me to go to iPhone because I can't use free stuff. I can't go
that's-
download music,
that's
my
just-
videos.
That's your sticky factor. Those are the things that
Right.
you have to have. And
I gotta have it. I gotta have the free
Oh.
shit.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I
When
keep
people were getting iPods to listen to music, me and my twin sister had Koan.
What?
Why?
Who?
Koan.
Who?
Why? Because it had more. It was less than the iPod.
Mm-hmm.
It had more space. I was able to download music off of LimeWire and all those different things and just put them in there. I didn't have to pay for music.
I rock the LimeWire.
And so, like
Did you
back in the
have-
day, everybody else was like rocking with the iPod, and me and my sister
White
was like, look at how we can get free stuff. So,
So I have a question
White
for the stream.
headphones.
I got a question for the stream. We found out that a UPS driver supposedly lost $360,000.
inside job.
Yeah, they
With the
had
iPhones.
an inside job.
Those are stolen.
All right, so here's the question. Since all these iPhones are missing, and you know Apple's going to block the IMEI number, how in the world could anybody activate this phone?
Parts. They use it for parts.
That's
I'll
it.
tell
I think they're going to take the screens and tell them to the people who are going to be fixing broken screens in a week.
Yeah, they'll sell for parts.
But
No, we-
Jerry Rig,
can't
everything
send
said
them
that the
overseas?
Jerry Rig, everything said that the back panel is impossible to remove.
Mm.
So he
Isn't the
said
breakdown up?
today.
Who just did a break? Somebody did a breakdown on it. Isn't the breakdown up?
yeah.
Yeah.
I thought there was
who pulled
one
it
up, too.
apart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, Jay Rick can do everything. If he couldn't do it, nobody can.
Right. So the question is because a lot of people say, okay, and this is one of the reasons why I don't buy from eBay. This crap might pop up on eBay. You can't even use the phone. I mean, it got to hit Apple servers, right?
Yeah.
So once it hit Apple servers, it's blacklisted. It's not going to. You ain't gonna be able to activate it. So the question is, if somebody stole 200 iPhones, right? iPhone 10s, what the hell they gonna do with it? Like QC Dad said, you gonna sell it for parts. But what if they try to sell the whole phone? These are the problems. This is why you can't buy the $3,000 iPhone off of the eBay.
Can I be honest with you guys?
Mm-hmm.
You've got the iPhone?
I know people who can clean the IMEI.
Mm-hmm. Yep, it happens
No
every day.
problem.
Every
But
day.
you think that
done.
Apple servers would accept that though?
Yes.
That's the whole thing.
They can be
You
done.
can trick.
They can take out people
If it's
find lost
phone.
phones. They come over to this specific place or person or thing that I'm not going to say. I'm not going to write down. But they can take out the iPhone account off, change the IMEI, all of that stuff. It can be done.
That's how those Note 7s were staying alive, right?
Yeah, right. That's right. That's how the Note 7s are. So that they'd be selling them on eBay for $3,000, right? I mean, they got it.
Yeah.
So you know what?
Or
So
overseas. I mean, or
Yeah.
you ship them
Yeah, that's what
to
I said,
iPhone and
overseas.
ship them.
the resale value of these phones, like, you know, I thought that, you know, I've been looking on eBay, kind of keeping up with the prices, like, you know, how much people are paying for these phones, and I'm finding people are not willing to pay $2,000 for this.
Right. And
They're
you know
just
what?
they're sitting on, they're not moving. They're not moving off of eBay.
Nope.
Well, the thing is this: if you order it today, you can have it 3 to 5 weeks. It's not like you got to wait that long.
You don't have to wait that long.
Oh, shout out to Eric. I be able to get his iPhone before Christmas.
And here's the thing.
Those shipping times are bumping forward too, because people
Yeah,
are
well,
getting their phones faster.
And you know what?
Yeah.
I actually ordered my iPhone today since I didn't camp out. All right. And my date is like next week on the 10th or something. It's coming in fast. It's not gonna be to next Monday like that. Yeah.
I think they were just hyping that up. Oh, you better get it. You know, just that's something. You know, but
Like when they say
Yeah,
that
the phone's
hype
gonna
always
come in
gets me
next
too.
sold out.
That hype gets me stressed.
yeah, it got me stressed too. I was up.
It's okay. It's okay. We're okay. We're okay. I was up. We're all right. We're here. We're here. We're all together now. It worked out. But
So
yeah,
you like
that's
your
how it
iPhone?
gets me.
You love your iPhone X?
I love it. I'm really. I haven't gotten to knock around with it though. I've
So,
gotten
Emily.
to play with the glitter features. I
So,
haven't gotten to really play with it.
So Emily, your expectations were met completely.
I was concerned that I wouldn't like the size because I have been a plus phone girl for
That's me.
almost 4 years
I'm
now.
in the same boat.
So I was worried, but it fits better in my hand.
It's a good
And
size.
The weight of it is nice because it sits in your hand. Where the iPhone 8 and 7s are a little bit lighter, so they feel a little narrower and a little too light. The weight's good. I love the glass on it, and I like the swipe gestures. They're really easy to use. It's just the phone kind of gets out of the way and lets you get to the content that you want. And that's kind of the experience that Apple's always going for, is get the tech out of the way. And the setup process on the new phones, you know, you pretty much bump your two phones together and you're like, done. They're set up. It's unbelievable. That user experience was so good today. I am curious to see how Face ID works in different situations at night, in my car, with my glasses, with a hat, if my kid tries to get in the phone. I am bummed that you can't have other people registered, because my husband and I always had another fingerprint. I always had one on his phone. He always had one on mine.
Done deal. You can't have two faces.
I know. So that's the one thing. But he's got my passcode, so you just passcode it in.
Let me ask you a question. A lot of people, I see somebody put in a stream that your volume is low. I mean, I hear you fine, but people in the stream, Tech for Your Needs say your volume is low. Let's go ahead and give a thumbs up if y'all okay with Emily volume. Because this Tech for Your Needs say your volume was low. I hear you just fine.
Sorry.
How about the guys? Do they feel like the phone is good for their?
Here's my issue with the expectations. Like I was excited. I got the phone. My FedEx guy came to the door. I mean, I have to agree with Sean with the software. I was looking for more applications to take advantage of the notch.
Yep.
I think the notch is pretty cool, but there's not a lot of applications that support that. And some of the applications, particularly with what was it? Was it YouTube? It was something where the video was actually smaller and it wasn't picking up the screen, or when I was trying to make it larger, it was just really weird. So that was my only issue in terms of expectations. But other than that, I'm kind of happy with it. I think I'm going through like a cold turkey period with my 7 Plus, because I've had so many of the Plus units that this phone just seems smaller. I mean, I know the screen's supposedly bigger, but it just seems smaller, and I'm still not there yet in terms of, you know, like, oh, this screen is bigger, because it doesn't feel it doesn't feel bigger than my 7 Plus at all. It feels.
No, I get you.
Yeah,
it doesn't feel bigger, but it's beautiful. What I'm looking forward to is I'm going to be in bed at night reading this phone, and it's not going to fall and hit me in the face, because these are the real world problems with this phone. You tell me you've never dropped a plus size phone on yourself.
Yeah,
I do it.
I had a couple of busted lips from my no date.
Now, one thing I do like is, and I've had issues with the fingerprint, the Touch ID with a lot of other iPhones, is if my fingers are wet or something, or there's something on my thumb or something, my phone just won't unlock because there's something on my finger. Today I was eating, what was I don't know, fried chicken or something. My hands were greasy. My phone just unlocked. I was like, oh, that was pretty cool. So yeah.
How do you feel about the unlock and then having to swipe up? Because I'm ready for it to just unlock to my screen.
I think that they will change it, but they got to kind of. I know why they did it. They don't want security reasons. I think they're going to add a setting in the future where you can just unlock it with your face. But
yeah,
I don't know. I think I don't know if I want my phone to just be unlocking just randomly, you know, if it just sees my face, because that may have an issue with battery. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. We have to see. I mean, you'll get used to it.
And I think that's where we're going to see with the notch too. I think as the units get into the consumer hands and app developers start getting feedback, I think you're going to see either the notch taken advantage of, or maybe the notch, everybody go, yeah, the horns are stupid, we're done with this next year. So we'll see, but that's what the consumers are going to ferret out. And I like that Apple has been,
as we talk about next year, I think, and I said this in my Telegram group, Mark T, we talked about this.
Yeah.
I think the notch is gone next year.
Yeah.
Which is going to be a problem, because if developers change their apps to accommodate the notch, and then Apple says, oh, wait, we changed our mind, we're going back to the regular screen. I mean, that's kind of a problem.
I think
the notch is going to stay, and I think it's going to be sort of like the home button was when the iPhone came out. It's just going to be something that just identifies with iPhone at some point, where that silhouette will say, oh, that's an iPhone, until, you know, at the end of the day, Android starts to copy. But, you know, I think
wait, hold on. You think Android
was gonna slap that in there like that? He did it so smooth.
Android copy, right?
Someone's gonna copy it. I can guarantee you. I know it.
Well, the Chinese phones go copy it. All the Huawei's and all that, they go copy it. The Mi's and
everybody
all
copy
that.
everybody, man. Let's be 100.
This is true. This is true. Yeah. Although no one's copied and I don't know if any manufacturer is capable of doing it, but no one's really copied the curved screen yet from Samsung.
Well, yeah. Didn't Huawei copy it with the Mate 9 Pro? It was a curved screen. The Mate 9 Pro. Huh, Scrumptious, you got one?
Yeah, it's curved.
Yeah, show everybody your curved screen there. Look just like an S8. Look at that.
Oh, that's a Samsung? Okay.
Yeah. That's a Huawei. Curved screen.
That Mate 9 was a beast. It still is a beast. I love that Mate 9.
If anyone's interested in not dropping their phones while they're on their bed, get something like this.
Well, I don't drop my phone.
I have this on my bed because I'm extra lazy, and I just lay there. And
So wait, where you plug that up at right there? I see you got.
It's on the side of the bed, so I just sleep at the end of the bed and just clamp it.
Mm-hmm.
I get my fingers when I play
to the side of the bed, and then I go, and I'm like.
Hey, so wait a minute. Show everybody your shirt like you went to the Galaxy Note event or something.
No, I didn't go to the Galaxy Note event. Okay,
unbox your phone. So she got that was the stuff they gave us.
Well, this is when I got my S8 at Best Buy.
There it is.
Shirts, yeah.
They had to give away a shirt to make you want the phone. Is that what you're saying?
No, giving them
disrespect.
Like anybody that came in that pre-ordered their phone, you got your accessories and all that stuff. You got a free shirt.
This is what Sean's down for. He wants the free stuff.
Okay, again.
He's like, I'll take a shirt.
Again.
He's like, I'll take a shirt.
I got a question for you guys. What does the iPhone X, right, and this device have in common?
Whoa.
Is that the pre?
The
Palm?
There's a Palm Pre?
Multitasking. Palm was.
Yes.
Yes.
Palm was ahead of his time.
I missed the Palm.
I miss it.
So dope.
Yeah,
Those
the wireless charging and
those
everything.
cards, yeah.
It's
Palm
so
was
similar though to the iPhone. It's like, come on, guys,
Yeah.
you guys just totally just ripped off the Palm Pixel.
I tell you what though, what I do hate about the iPhone X is the way you close X or 10, whatever you want to call it, is the way you close your apps now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
actually
terrible.
stuck. Yeah, I don't
It's
like
terrible.
that.
Wait, you don't have a clear all button?
Of course not.
Yeah, never had that like that. Yeah, never had that like that.
There was never a clear all button. Never a clear all button.
Oh my God, that's bringing me back to the clipboard.
You got the 20 apps open. You got to go flip, 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 flip all 20 times.
No, you can
No,
X
you have
them.
to X.
You can X or you can swipe, but
Yeah, you
Oh.
can.
So you do this
Yeah, you can.
a lot of times, or this is a lot of times.
Oh.
Get the finger exercises, y'all.
see, that doesn't bother me. Because that's what I've been doing for the last since the swipe came out. That's what I've been doing.
But I bet you, if Apple comes out with that clear all button, yo, courage, innovation, they're the first ones to do it.
They will say courage. They will say courage.
But wouldn't it be funny when Apple users come up to you like, I bet you guys can't do this? Like, dude, I've been doing this since like 07. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you talking about? Like, I know this is so hilarious to me when they have features they just get now. You be having for like 5 years.
We got wireless charging now.
Right. You're gonna be at Starbucks sitting your phone down there for no reason at all. Got 100% battery. Trying to charge their phone up. Yeah, I'm that guy now.
They gonna put it down. Whoop, we got
Right.
wireless charging. Like, we've been having that for like 5 years.
Like, you know what I'm saying? It's hilarious, man.
Oh my
Guys are
goodness.
interesting.
Yeah, I mean, look, don't get me wrong. I did this stream tonight because it was on my mind. I was watching all the YouTube videos, everybody saying all this good stuff about iPhone. I ain't got mine, but I'm seeing like some smaller YouTubers, kind of telling the truth about it. I said, man, let me start an emergency stream. We got to talk about it. And I'm glad I did it, That's what I'm talking about.
So let me ask you this, because I don't have a Samsung, and are a lot of apps compatible with the 18:9 ratio?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have a feature too. You can stretch them out too. Like they kind of like hold your hand with that process. But like a lot of apps are like perfectly fine. Like there's no, you know what I mean? Like you're not looking at the screen and the words like running off the page or anything like that. Like no, it's good.
Can we? All right. So I want to talk about this app thing because you kind of dogging Apple and I don't like it. But let's talk about this.
Okay.
What kind of tablet do you have?
What do you want to say?
Because Samsung Android tablets have been out for
iPad.
years, and the apps they just don't.
I'm not gonna lie to you, dog.
It's
The
just-
iPad game, Apple, bow down, fam. Y'all got that. I'm not gonna lie to you. The iPad game, I'm not gonna lie. I don't use my iPad like that no more. Honestly, you know what I'm saying? I don't. But as far as tablets concerned, I would not put a Samsung tablet.
Can we all agree that Android tablets should just die? I think they.
Well, hey, look here,
I
look
still
here,
use
cuz.
mine. I got a Samsung
Look
tablet,
here.
but I'm on my iPad now.
Yes,
y'all,
just
so-
go away. Just
Okay, hey,
die now,
Nah.
please.
nah.
I'm
not going.
actually gonna be posting in a few days a really useful thing that you can use your tablet for.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
She said a useful thing you can use your tablet for. Let's see. Oh,
That's a
boy.
teaser.
Whoa.
Hella useful. I love repurposing tech. So
QC, since you bring
Is
up
it one
tablets,
Wednesday again?
As far as watches are
did.
concerned, Samsung Watch is killing the Apple Watch. I'm sorry, sir. Hands down. Hands
I got
down.
both of those too.
The Gear S3 is killing that Apple Watch 3. No debate.
In
No
sales?
debate.
In sales?
We're not talking about sales. We're talking about user. I'm talking about right now. That's why I say, hey man, your watch is cool. It looks good. What is that on your arm?
This is the
Like,
Apple Watch.
So
Seriously?
you know what I'm saying? Nah,
But are my
nah,
iMessages on that watch?
My messages come on my
aren't gonna
watch.
be on that watch.
My message come on my watch. I can respond
Yeah,
to my
mine
messages,
won't.
phone calls.
Can you get Toy Story on your watch?
Universe.
I can get way more than that.
You
I
can
got
put
Fallout.
anything you want
Oh, you got
Matter of
Toy
fact,
Story.
matter of fact, even better, QC, I can link my watch up with my new iPhone X because Samsung's not a hater like that.
my
about
husband
that?
makes payments with his watch,
Mm.
Yeah, I do too.
and people love
No,
that.
not every terminal. Not every terminal, Emily. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got the little chip reader, the little NFC joint. You
ain't
dead
got
in the
always-
water.
You don't have
Dead in the
always
water.
on. There's no always on the Apple Watch either. I have both.
It's not scrumptious. You're right. Look at that.
Uh-oh.
Can you play Pokemon Go on that watch? Because
I don't play Pokemon Go.
I would not play Pokemon Go on my
That's
wrist,
cool
walking
to
down the
me.
street like this. I
That's
would not
hella
do
cool to
that.
me. I gotta
I
give
can
it to
play
the
Pokemon
Pokemon
Go
Go
on my
on the watch, though. I remember when I first saw that, I was like,
So, Emily, let's be real. Which one would you rather have? A feature in your watch you could pay at any terminal, or Pokemon Go?
I can pay it. I can pay it anywhere I kind of want to pay.
No, you cannot. Not with the Apple Watch. It has to be.
I rarely run into a place I can't pay that I want to pay, and normally I get carded anyway because I'm buying wine. So I still have to have my wallet with me. It's really annoying. If you can get my ID on that watch, I will buy that watch. So you can like just pay and card me all at once.
yeah.
Yeah. I see what you're saying. So when you drink your wine, you get carded. Yeah, you need that. You need it. Yes.
Now I got a question because I don't use Apple Pay, even though I have an Apple Watch.
Mm-hmm.
Do you earn points like you can with Samsung Pay?
Ooh-wee, because them points do add up. I got a lot of free stuff from Apple.
You don't. Wait, what are Samsung points?
Oh, you get like a lot of free stuff. Nike gift card. You get actually prepaid visas. Movie ticket. I'm talking about you get like a lot of free stuff with Samsung. I didn't get like a $50 gift card.
So why do you think they're doing that?
To show who's better. We live like consumers.
Samsung always have a trend of rewarding people for using their stuff. Like I said before, when
that's what you call
people are the first ones. Yeah, the people are the first ones to get the first batch of phones. They usually have a free gift with it. It's just the way Samsung.
It's not them trying to entice you to use their Samsung Pay. You don't think?
I would say incentivizing.
Yeah, it is.
Wow.
You
rewarding
for using Bixby as well. You get points, and then you can turn those points into money.
They're thirsty. They are thirsty.
I cannot wait to Apple come out with a reward system.
I think calling it thirsty is a stretch. I think calling it what it is, an incentive program. It's just you just get incentivized. When you go to the store and you pay some, and you go to that store often, and they incentivize you. Are they being thirsty? No, they just have an incentive program. That's just
I love points. I'm not hating on points. I love points. I think that's brilliant. I use my Amazon rewards cards because I want my 3% back. I love points. I think that's a great idea.
There we go. Thank you.
In the chat, they say it's bribes, y'all. It's bribes.
I will say,
but you can bribe me.
Thanks.
Bribe me all day. I'll use my eBay. I will triple up my points.
All right, so let's talk about Samsung Pay. Let's talk about it real quick.
Oh, let me make a comment about the watches right quick.
Go ahead.
So I use both watches, and I will say, as an overall experience, the Gear S3 is better than the Apple Watch, but it depends on your use. So when I go to the gym and I want to work out, I prefer the Apple Watch because it's more comfortable on the wrist. It's smaller. I just like the way it syncs with everything better. But when I'm out just going about day to day, I prefer the Gear S3. The only problem with the Gear S3 is the app situation. I mean, Tizen is it's fairly new. I mean, it's a great operating system, but all the apps aren't there yet.
Well, I think it depends on your usability, right, Mark? Because like for me, I don't use a lot of apps on my watch. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm using my watch to if I like forget my phone somewhere or something like that, make a payment, track my health, like my steps. I don't really download any apps on my watch. And also what's dope about my watch is that I could put music on my watch. You know what I'm saying? So like the music I got on my phone, if I want to bring my phone with me in the gym, I just have it on my watch. And I can sync my watch up with my headphones.
Me too.
Right, you can do it on the Apple Watch, but the Gear S3 is too big and bulky to work out in. I mean, for me personally, I'd rather have the Apple Watch. I mean, because it's sleek. I mean, it's comfortable with the Nike sports band. It just feels better to work out in versus the Gear S3, which is big and bulky. The round face.
They got the Gear Sport for you now, damn Marcus. I
don't want that trash. I don't.
Go back to
Apple. It is garbage.
Let's talk about Apple Pay because you were saying that about the programs that give you points and everything. I think they need to do it to try to get people to use it. If you look at all the partnerships that Apple has been able to establish with banks and credit card companies in comparison to Samsung Pay or even Android Pay, it doesn't even compare. It's
if I'm not mistaken, I think Samsung Pay actually have more active users. If I'm not mistaken, last time I checked, they did.
You need to email me that.
I would definitely tell you. Last time I checked, was killing like by a nice little amount. Just like Samsung Pay been snapping.
I need to see those numbers because I have never seen anything online or anything that can validate that. I do know when I go into my local supermarket, I see Apple Pay accepted here. I see that.
And you see Android Pay and Samsung.
Well,
Pay.
because Apple Pay, Apple.
You don't have to tell them that Samsung Pay is accepted because it is.
They work. They work everywhere.
Always.
That's the thing.
Always
They work.
The
We work
MST
everywhere.
technology, the MST allows it to be
NFC
used at
is
basically
superior.
any terminal.
Okay, I'll give him that. That's amazing.
Yeah, we out here in the streets. We out here, fam. We out here.
But you will say Android's been doing the whole NFC thing with contactless payments for a while. But as soon as Apple comes to the game with Apple Pay, anything that Apple touches almost is intensified in terms of usability compared to Android, in my opinion.
Apple Pay put mobile wallets really on the map.
I agree. Yeah,
anytime Apple do something, it's going to become like that new thing.
Yeah.
Same thing with wireless charging. Now everybody gonna be like, I gotta have a wireless charger because Apple did it. I mean, I'm not gonna take that away from Apple. Apple, they do lead the charging that way, but that I can't go to them. You know what I'm saying? Just for that.
But here's the thing. This is the most beautiful thing I like about all this, right? At one point in time, there was nothing better than the iPhone, and then the first Droid came along. And then the competition started. When these two mega companies compete against each other, at the end of the day, we win. You know, so
Facts.
Love it.
That's the beautiful thing about it. So Apple, if you guys remember, they were just with AT&T and that was it. And they was like, wait a minute, Android's gaining some traction. We need to get on Verizon. We need to get on Sprint. We need to get on T-Mobile. So at the end of the day, we're all going to win because competition and makes us win. So that's the one thing I like about.
All right. So who's
I'm actually cynical about it. I think these companies actually behind closed doors agree to hold back technology. I mean, because they work it. You know, they give off this impression that they're really competing, but they buy from each other all the time and borrow technologies from each other. So
I agree with that.
I think
that's why I'm worried about the S9 and the Note 9.
Yeah,
because
I think
Apple doesn't
hold back some technology.
S9 is going to be $1,000.
Well, no. The reason why I'm worried about it is because if Apple doesn't step their game up, then Samsung isn't either.
Yeah.
So I really hope that they fix this before 2018 rolls around. So I really hope
funny if Samsung don't step their game up, LG don't step their game up, HTC don't step their game. You see what I'm saying? It's like a thing almost.
Catwoman, let's go and get into the comments. Catwoman, you want to read some of these comments? A lot of people leaving comments.
Oh my God, yeah, there's so many. All right, so let's start with the first one I see. I didn't filter this. Deepak Murdy says, Apple always wins in apps, quality, ecosystem, and optimization. That said, for me, the best phone in the market for me is the Note 8. I collect iPhones, but let's give credit to Samsung.
Yeah.
Okay.
Deepak also said about the ecosystem.
Ecosystem,
He said,
Ecosystem.
About drug dealer.
Wow.
I'll tell you that right now, man. That handoff keeps on Apple. Like, their ecosystem's tight, but I didn't get in trouble with that, man. I'm cool on that, fam. I'm good. I don't need nothing like that. I don't want nothing. I want on my phone, pick it up on my tablet. Yeah, I keep that. I'm cool.
Imagine people like, oh, Apple Pay lets me use my EBT card. Then it'll really set it off. That's when Apple will really set it up.
So we got Deepak said, I'm typing from my 256 gig iPhone. So wait, if you got the 256 gig iPhone, how many gigs at boot? Because I mean,
I don't know,
the operating system taking.
I think it's like 245. I think
245. Okay.
That's still good.
That's still pretty good.
Yeah.
Let's see. Android outsells iPhones 2-1. No, I don't think so, right?
I don't think so.
No, they're talking about Android in a whole, though. Not just Samsung. Android as a whole, they do. Android as a whole, but that goes to your Cricket phone, the little trap phones, all that's Android. So that's why they outsell.
Right. Okay.
That's a lot of garbage in there.
That's a lot of garbage in there. So I don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, and that's the problem I be having with like most Apple users. Like they try to say like Android is garbage, but they be using like a Cricket buy one get one free phone and trying to compare it to like an iPhone. Like, no, that's not fair, bro. Like, no, it's not the same. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
somebody in the comment section, Total Tech, he said he really likes the Plus model. So I'm guessing he means the S8 Plus model. Yeah. The X is cool, but it just feels too small.
Yeah.
I feel like Goldilocks. Like this phone is just right.
That's because we got small hands.
I know, but I mean, they're meat hooks, but they're small. But the screen is still lovely. I've got to play with it a little more to see how it is
Uh-oh.
Where'd you go?
Uh-oh.
Your audio.
Your audio.
Can't
See,
hear you.
ear pod went out. Look at ear
Headphones
pod
are
went
bad.
out.
Go
Look at
with
that right
Apple.
there, ear pod.
Go ahead, plug them up.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, she doesn't beginner now.
Haters. You guys are haters.
See, that was a classical
Get the
moment.
dongle, girl.
Oh, God.
That was a classical moment.
Yo,
right
that was
there.
like Eric. That was like when your cousin's phone went out during the.
Oh yeah, she dropped the phone. How many times she dropped the phone Tuesday?
But her phone died too. Remember?
Yeah,
She said
phone
she couldn't
died.
charge and listen.
She was on the iPhone 8, right? She was on the iPhone 8, and I think when she started the stream, she was at about 80% battery life, and then maybe about an hour and a half in the stream, the whole iPhone 8 just died on her.
So 80% in 2 hours, less than 2 hours. It
Yeah,
went
if she
down.
was live
This
streaming,
is why
though.
we need to do the 10-hour YouTube video test.
And we said ain't nobody got time for that.
How long? Like we need to put that to the test. How long can our on-screen time last if we just have it on the whole time? That's like the ultimate.
all those like people do those a lot, especially with like the YouTube channel. I mean, like you know, watching YouTube, and Apple fails those a lot. Like if you watch playback video on YouTube channels on an iPhone, like for like a long time, they fail miserably, and I don't know why.
Well, because it's Apple. You just got to buy the battery pack.
Right, that's right.
What y'all talking about?
She can't
See,
even
y'all
stand
get
up
this
on it
wrong. I think y'all get this wrong. Listen, when you buy the iPhone, you're not going to get the fast charger. That means you have to spend for the fast charger, right?
Unless you got an iPad.
That's right.
If you
want a premium case, you have to pay for it. It's not gonna come in the box like Android. Some Android phones you give you a case. If you want high performance earphones, don't get the one that Apple give you because that's the same one they give you for the past 10 years, right?
Dongle life.
Well,
And
they give you the lightning ones now. They come with the lightning
ones.
Come with lightning now and a dongle. But yeah, these died on me, which is exactly what happened.
So easy. We cover all channels. We start at about 350 and we go up from there. We got our iPhone SE,
right?
We go up, so we kind of can appeal to pretty much anyone.
Yeah, right. And that's true. And you know what? Actually, I watched an interview with one of the top executives of Apple, and their slogan has changed. iPhone for everybody. Yeah. That's their slogan. iPhone for everybody. iPhone SE, you could get it little less of $150, really. You could get an iPhone SE, an iPhone 7 Plus, 8 Plus. And, so you could get a phone from the $300 mark, just like the iPad. That's what Apple did. They did it with the iPad, $329 for the iPad. So they changed their slogan because they know it was too premium. But
well, now the first taste is a little cheaper.
Yeah.
But in a year or two, you want more. So you get in with that cheap iPhone, and then you want the iPad, and then you want the MacBook, and then you want the headphones, and then you want the faster computer, and then you are stuck in the universe forever.
And then you're spending money on their movies and music.
That's what get you. It's the services that Apple's making money from. They're making it from the iTunes. Like Sean was saying, you can't get free stuff off of the iPhone. It just doesn't work that way. Everything it's a closed operating system. You can't get LimeWire or whatever app, the Fire Stick app, all that stuff just not going to work. On the iPhone because it's a closed system. And I think that may be one of the reasons why the iPhone is, in my opinion, super fast and super efficient in comparison to some of the Android phones out there. So just my 2 cents.
Yeah, Tech for Your Niece says, it all comes down to educating the average consumer. Can't be a one-track mind. If you're not giving a chance to other technology. I agree, which is why I really like that Apple's making those schools. So that when people
it goes further than that, Catwoman. If you look at their keynotes, when you watch an Apple keynote, it's like a training session almost. They kind of it's like a Genius Bar appointment where they're showing you exactly how these things work. I mean, I remember one time it was for one of the Macs. They were explaining a butterfly keyboard, and I was like, "What? Why are we learning about a keyboard?" But they make it huge. Yeah. And people are like, oh, I got the new MacBook with the butterfly keyboard versus you got the, like, who cares? But it's like they train you at those keynotes. A lot of people don't realize that, but it's more than just an announcement. They're training you on how to use their products.
Well, and they make your product that you have in your hand feel like crap. You're like, damn it.
Yeah.
I got this phone 6 months ago and I hate it.
Like what they were explaining about the iPhone.
That's why OnePlus keep on making phones every 6 months, because they just getting tired of it right now. They like, we gotta come out with a new phone every 6 months.
Now, now Samsung, I will give them credit. They've been sometimes Samsung keynotes are kind of crazy, but they've been trying to do the same thing as well. But I don't know. I feel like Samsung's keynotes are a little bit confusing in terms of people kind of follow along. And on top of that, I think a lot more outlets report on Apple keynotes in comparison to Samsung keynotes. So, you don't get all the big time YouTubers talking about the Samsung announcements when they come out. So, but
that's because they don't distract you, right? They come in with the shirts and the pants, and it's like you're in a training session. Compared to the Samsung ones, you have people coming in like just dressed like kind of crazy. Well, there's this one person that always just like sweats profusely, and I'm not even paying attention to what they're saying because I'm just looking at the sweat mark. And so I think definitely Apple wins when it comes to the keynotes and the training and the music. We got to give it to the music.
One last thing, and this is really important with Apple, and I know a lot of people were saying Apple fanboy. When I think of Apple in comparison to Samsung, Apple, they have a story behind them. I don't know Samsung's story. Like, everyone knows about Steve Jobs. That was a story, and a lot of people can connect with that kind of story. In terms of Samsung,
they CEO this with the jail or something. I think it's
it's like I just don't know.
CEO just resigned or something.
The story behind Samsung. I mean, what is it? Apple's think differently. Everyone knows that quote, "The crazy ones" from Steve Jobs. So there's a story behind Apple, and I think people can gravitate to that. So,
but Samsung is also an American company.
On the flip side, though, I mean, you think about when Apple was dominating the cell phone market, when the iPhones first came out,
right?
And then Samsung started coming along. I mean, and then they had the S3, then they had the S4.
Let's back up. When they copied Apple with the
Galaxy One. Sure.
Totally
But my point being, they went right at Apple's neck. I mean, they they had they was making fun of people. They call them wall huggers.
Yeah, I remember.
And to me, that's the great thing about Samsung, because they started from a position. I mean, they were so far behind.
Yeah.
And they slowly, they copied Apple, sure, but then they slowly started chipping away. And then when they released that first Note, that kind of like propelled them, because Apple was behind. They still had the tiny phones.
Mm-hmm.
They had to, there you go. They released that Note, and from there it was, the sky was the limit with Samsung, and that's what I appreciate about Samsung.
They were doing this to Apple.
Yeah, people thought I was crazy when I first got that phone.
This is true. And then they came out with the iPhone 6 Plus. Yeah, and I was like, oh, now Apple has a big phone because
Samsung did. Yep.
Yeah, because Apple was like, wait a minute, and they did the same thing with the iPad Mini too. I think who was it that had the 7-inch iPad?
The Nexus.
Had
the
Nexus.
The Nexus.
Yep. Also, the Samsung came up with the tabs, all the different tabs and everything,
I think sometimes Samsung just throws spaghetti at the wall and just see what sticks. Like,
they do. But sometimes I like my spaghetti with a little wall painting. Okay?
let's try this Note.
That
seems like the work. Yeah,
that's innovation.
That's
it is the
innovation.
Versus you sitting here keep giving me the same looking row of icons since
Apple. They don't do that. They'll
3,
sit back and they'll watch and like, we don't want to do wireless charging this year.
I got a question for you. You don't get bored with the same row of icons like. You can never change your phone ever to make it look anything just remotely different. Like if I get bored, my phone, I just want to do something different. I can literally change the entire phone, like literally from top to bottom.
So I used to use Android, and I will say I like some of the widgets, like the weather widgets, but I'm so ingrained with this phone. I don't know how I don't care about anything else. Almost, it's like you don't really.
But you can
got the visor on.
I don't know what you mean by changing. I don't know what you mean by changing the phone top to bottom, but you can change around pretty much anything you want on the iPhone.
You have widgets though, like if you swipe to the left. But I get what you're saying.
Okay, QC, you get what I'm saying. Emily, the only thing you can change around on the iPhone is the row of icons. Like you can put one app here.
You have like you have your widgets as well.
You've got your notifications. You've got widgets. You've got your control center. My
give you an
control
example.
center rolls.
You can't put Nova Launcher on there and thing the phone.
Thank you, Mark. That's what I'm aiming at. And I'm like, my phone is completely different from somebody else's phone. You know what I'm saying? Like my phone is like example.
Yeah, see that?
Yeah,
that is.
You know what I'm saying? Like he can make his phone work for him. That's my thing. Like I like my phone to customize to what I need it to be. I don't want to conform to just me being locked into Apple. You know what I'm saying? This Apple way of how they think it should be. I want to set my phone up how I think it should be. You know what I mean?
On the flip side, you still open the apps the same way and do the same thing.
Let me ask you this. How often do you change the way that your phone looks?
I usually change mine like every 3 months. Give it a fresh look.
Yeah.
Chicago said it's not hard to copy. It's hard to do it first.
We got a Chicago in here. Chi-Town, stand up. We out here.
Yeah, he said it's not hard to copy. It's hard to do it first. Speaking of copying, I use my Note 8 and my Note 7 a lot. And obviously, you know, my Note 7 has the button. The Note 8 does not. The way I go to the apps is different. So I actually ended up getting a Note 8 launcher, put it on my Note 7. So that way I could go to my app drawer the same way.
That's what I'm talking about.
I got really bothered by the fact that I had all the boxes on the screen. I see Ray was talking about my customization. This is my iPhone, and I can see my wallpaper, right?
Nice.
So, that's your iPhone?
This is my iPhone.
Oh, because you put everything in folders.
Yeah, but you see, I have a wallpaper right here that you can see.
Yeah. Okay. So you did like Monique said, she puts everything in one big folder?
No.
See, mine's broken down. Well, I'm going to do what's on my iPhone, but mine's broken down by what I need the most.
You see how hers is lined up? I have
and then, yeah.
Word.
Okay, so you're jailbroken and you got
no, I'm not jailbroken, not at all.
So how you got because I can't do that with my iPhone.
You just have less, or you pull these over, you pull them over to the next screen, and then you just have a screen. Oh, this isn't letting me do it.
It's called the imptooliphone.net. You go to that site, and you end up doing like a screenshot of your phone. Like I'd have to explain it to you, but you end up doing a screenshot of your phone. It puts blank boxes in here versus apps.
Oh, you need to do a tutorial, Scrumptious, and put it on YouTube.
I need a tutorial on that. I want man doing that.
All right. She got blink icons. Okay, all right. Because I know I got an iPhone, and I'm saying to myself, she did that. But that's pretty cool. That is awesome.
Yeah, you need to do a video on that.
Yeah. But she don't have any. Wait, by the way, she don't have a YouTube channel. So me and you gonna get together, Scrumptious. We gonna do a video. You see me the video.
He's gonna take the video.
Do the video. I'm gonna edit it, and I'm gonna just slam it
content.
Yes. So iPhone, is it a yes or no? iPhone 10.
It's a maybe.
I give it. I'll put it right here for right now. I mean,
it depends on who you are.
I haven't had it for long enough to say a definite no, but right now I'm stuck in between. I can't give it a definite no, but I damn sure ain't giving it a definite yes.
Yeah.
Mark?
Right now, if you're an Apple user, I say it's probably, if you don't like the 8 Plus, it's the best phone you can get. If the 8 Plus is too big for you, you don't like the cumbersome phone and you like using your phone with one hand, then it's the best phone you can get from Apple. But if you're somebody like me that jumps between, the Note 8, the Pixel 2, the HTC U11, it's nothing groundbreaking. I mean, it's just another phone, to be honest.
This is the front-facing selfie camera.
Woo! Oh, wow, that's so pretty. Wow. You did the lighting thing on it. Oh, that's so beautiful.
That's the front-facing selfie camera. That is why this phone. The Dodgers hurt me this week, but this phone refilled my heart. This phone, it is. I can't wait to knock around with the features a little bit more, but it's a beautifully made phone. And I had the 8 for like a week. I had the 8 Plus, and it was also a beautifully made phone. But this feels new. Where the 8, even though it was beautiful and the back was beautiful, it felt like more of the same. I've had that same form factor phone since my 6. So, this actually feels like a fresh new piece of hardware, which is nice because it's been a while that we've been doing this. We've been doing this for a while.
Yeah. I can get that.
I love it.
Yes.
Hey, so who has the Does anyone have a Pixel 2?
I had it. I sent it back.
So was the portrait mode? Because a lot of the YouTubers were saying the portrait mode was better than the Apple portrait mode.
Lies.
No, I'd say it is. I mean, it is because if you really look at the portrait mode on the iPhone, it has a problem with handling the edges. I mean, if you look closely at the picture, it has a problem with handling the edges. But if you're not looking that deep into it, portrait mode is fine on the iPhone, but it is slightly better.
Still, the portrait mode's still in front-facing portrait mode's still in beta. The rear-facing portrait mode doesn't have as many issues around the edges, and it just depends. People with lighter hair, it has a little harder time with, and it depends on the background. But it is
the front-facing one camera, which is crazy, man. Like they did it with one camera, like.
Yeah. I don't have the Pixel 2, but I think that the only difficult part about it is though you take a good picture with a Pixel 2, because the display is so bad, you have to edit it in a different phone.
There you go.
So somebody asked you now, what kind of case you have on your phone?
Oh, so this is I can put the link in it. This is a Casetify case that I made. This was something that came out of my TED Talk. So these are special cases, but you can get them on Casetify. It says shiny, sparkly, badass.
That is.
There it is.
There it is.
So I made my own. I made my own case because I had been wanting a custom case for a while that said that. So I was like, you know what? It's new phone, new case. So
Chicago said Mark T's nickname is Send Back Shoddy.
Are you taking selfies? I love it.
It's good. I mean,
it's good, right?
Yeah, it is. It is good. I was playing around with a little bit while I was on the stream. It is good.
So Sean, you changed your mind about that Sean making a video.
Stop.
No, you making a video. You changing your mind about this iPhone?
No, I got 13 more days to take this joint back. But I'm gonna give y'all the most coverage I can give. This camera review gonna be fire tomorrow, dog. I'm telling y'all, like, I got some good stuff coming up tomorrow with this video. I mean, with this phone, but I can't. That's just not the phone for me.
And
I'm keeping it. I'm gonna ride it out and see how they upgrade update the apps and optimize the software, and just go from there. I mean,
next year I might be talking to it though. Next year when everything all hashed out, I might come rock with y'all then. Now,
have you tried out the 4K at 60 frames per second yet?
I haven't had a chance to yet. I can't wait.
Oh, it's beautiful.
I can't wait.
I've actually been having a problem with that on A+ when I did the review. It was no. In all seriousness, so like I kept having a problem like with the lighting, right? So if I like change real quick, it's like the lighting kept. I don't know. It's kind of hard to explain, but it was like having an issue as far as like trying to regain the lighting back or something like that. So I'm hoping that it's fixed with this one tomorrow when I go outside. So we'll see.
There's no other camera really doing this, right? Besides Apple.
No, that's the only camera with 4K 60 frames per second.
Yeah.
And I think 1080p at 240 frames per second too. So Apple,
but check this out, right? Down. Let me put this buggy here. All right. So we are about to hit December, right? Because I mean it's the 3rd. So we got 2 more months. And then once we hit January, everything resets. Yeah. So we hit we got all the keto addresses start coming in. You got the S9 keto addresses probably going to be early February.
No headphone jack.
No headphone jack.
I think it's going.
And then we got the LG G7, right? That's going to be in November, right? I mean, it's not November, just February, right? I mean, then Samsung with the S9 is going to be the first one to get first dibs on the 845. It's going to be a debacle with the S7 and everything that's coming at CES. Think about CES. What they're going to use, 835s, because Qualcomm didn't come out with an 836.
But you know what, Easy? Apple's so ahead of them with this A11 chip. It's not even funny. The Geekbench scores are just off the chart. And what do you call it? What do you call the software? The chip maker?
Snapdragon.
No, Easy calls it something else.
Crabdragon.
Crabdragon, yeah. I don't know. I mean, maybe it's just the software and the hardware made by the same company. That's why, or maybe it's just the iOS is just optimized to be faster. But
well, think about this. Let me ask you this question. I mean, with the software and hardware intertwined with Apple, do they really need that much hardware? I mean, do they really need that much power? I mean, because Android needs the power because they got skins on top of Android, and they got poorly optimized phones, and they got all this crap in the cameras. I mean, with the Note, listen, the skin that's on top of this Note. I mean, you got to have a lot of power to run this type of stuff, right? So, but with Apple, it's light, very easy. It's optimized perfectly. I mean, Apple still only uses 3 gigs of RAM, by the way. Yeah. I mean, they just started using 3 gigs of RAM. On the iPhone 8, it's only 2 gigs of RAM in that thing. Yeah. iPhone 8 Plus got 3 gigs of RAM. So the iPhone 10 only got 3 gigs of RAM. Apple runs with 2 gigs of RAM on their devices.
So
it runs good.
I think that in terms of do they need that much power, I would say yes. And the reason I would say that is because it gives our iPhones longevity in terms of when new updates come out, it makes them last longer. To be honest with you, my 12-year-old still has an iPhone 4S.
Yeah, and it still runs.
It's still, I mean, it's slow, but it's still.
I would say yes.
But they can play the games on it. That's the whole thing. As long as you can download. Right. What I like about Apple is, unlike Android, and even the Windows had this bad, right?
Rest in peace, Windows.
With iOS, you could actually the apps that's not compatible with that device, it don't even show up in the App Store, so you can't even find it. That's what I like about it, right? And then when you move up to, but Android, I believe you can download apps that's not, I don't know, compatibility issues, but unlike Windows let you download anything, even if it's compatible or not compatible, right? But at least Apple, if you got an iPhone 4, it may be some apps that would not pop up even if you search for it because it sees that it's an iPhone 4, which is a great thing. It's a good thing.
Yeah. I'll say my reasoning why we need to have phones to be this powerful is not only for the geeks, it's for the beginners who then decide later on that they want to become geeks.
They can grow with the phone.
Yes, exactly.
That's a good point.
So, at the end of the day, and I know we got to get out of here, ladies and gentlemen, and I do really appreciate y'all coming through. At the end of the day, I think Apple got a little work to do. It's always good to hear both sides of the story. This is why I did this live stream today. We got a lot of information out there, a lot of stuff that's not being told. And that Sean, you brought in some good information. Mark T, along with Emily, and my man QC Dad David is in the building. Y'all brought in some information, some diversity that a lot of stuff is not being told out there. So I like this stream. I'm so happy to get, and I do apologize that it was spare of the moment. I was hitting y'all up on emails and hitting you up on social media to try to get y'all together because I wanted to hear both sides of the story because right now we're not hearing it. We are not hearing it. I'm telling you, every damn video I watch, they're praising it like it's a second coming.
You know why? Because this is the first year Apple really went after the YouTubers and gave them review units and gave
this is true.
This is the first year that Apple lifted the NDA early and allowed the YouTubers to get in there, and the traditional tech were pissed.
Yeah.
Yes, they were.
I seen all the tweets. Oh, they were tweeting.
They were so crusty about it. But some of these reviewers, I mean, they got to go to the YouTube spaces and do hands-on, or they got the review unit for a day. Some of them got the review unit for longer. So in a day, all you're going to get from me in a day is squealing and being excited. I need a week and a half to come down off of being excited to really tell you how this works and how it doesn't, which I always tell people in my videos. My first video is Fangirl. I'm going to open it and talk about how pretty it is and how much I love the packaging because that's how excited I am. My next videos, I'm going to tell you, you know what, this is a little funky for me, or this isn't great. My activation was slow. But the first one's squealing, and that's all you're getting in YouTube right now is the people who got their review units, and they want those review units again. So traditional media that gets their review units year after year in the bigger markets are kind of breaking down the phone a bit. But on YouTube, this is the first time YouTubers have really gotten that kind of treatment from Apple. There were a ton of YouTubers at the keynote first time. And
even
you know what?
YouTubers, like someone less than 1 million subs were
Yep.
there, which was.
And if
Well,
I was that YouTuber, I'd be squealing about the phone too.
Yeah. And you know what? I ain't gonna lie to you. That's a good. That was a good move. We really need level playing field because us smaller YouTubers, we don't have no access, and it's great that everybody had a level playing field. That was good.
They did. They released those NDAs. I mean, Christine's videos came out early. They released those NDAs early for the YouTubers, and I think it's great because that's where most people go to YouTube to make those decisions, and it's nice to see tech companies acknowledging it. But that's where you're getting all the excitement from, and that's where you're not going to get these breakdown reviews till a little bit later.
I will say
they learned from Android on that one because they do that a lot. They reach out to the YouTubers and they let them have early access.
With that. Samsung and Casey Neistat do tons of stuff together.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a smart move because there's a reason people are influencers because people want to see what they have to say about stuff.
Like the videos that in the end would say, this video was made with my S8.
Mm-hmm.
My S8 Plus. So I'm glad that Apple's getting on board. I hope that they continue to do this and it happens again next year.
I'm here, Apple.
Yeah, get Emily Plus.
I don't like that, but I think y'all trash.
It was just embarrassing though to see some of these big YouTubers begging for review units.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And I'm just like, it's just such a sense of entitlement.
Unbox therapy. He was going in like.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy.
The whole charity thing.
$10,000 to charity if I could get it reviewed unit.
Yes.
Yeah, just donate to charity.
Spend the money, get the phone. Stay up at night and get the phone. Stay up at night and get the phone. I got it. I'm nobody special. I got my phone. I put in the work. And the cash.
I don't like Unbox Therapy. He did a fake giveaway with the.
Yeah, you killed it with the iPhones.
Yeah, that was fake, man. That pissed me off.
It was on the news. I saw it on the news or something, man.
Wow.
Well, he did get a chance to review a fake iPhone 10 though.
He punked me though with that. I'm like, damn, how do you get all these iPhones?
Yeah. Empty boxes. All right, so we got to get out of here. I see y'all. Look, listen. I want to give a shout out to everybody that's in the live stream. Thank y'all guys very much for coming. I do not do live streams on Fridays, but I had to do this emergency live stream. I got my regular scheduled live stream for tomorrow. So stay tuned for that. I got one guest that's coming on tomorrow. It's going to be a very special stream. Don't forget about Wine Wednesday. Got the ladies going to be in the building. Don't forget about Monday Morning Hangover, which I do Monday Morning Hangover every Monday. I be on all these people's streams. And then Tuesday, I'm on the Chad Christian show where we do a lot of giveaways. We give away a whole lot of stuff, and we talk about tech and everything in between the stream. And I'll be there also. So thank everybody for coming out. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. iPhone panel. Oh, it was nice. I will see y'all guys tomorrow. Peace out.
Bye.
Appreciate you for having me.